Good morning, students. Students, this lesson is for class 3 for the subject of mathematics, topic tessellation, which is covered in chapter 6, geometry, starting on page number 103 of your textbook, titled Essential Mathematics, Srijan Publications, and is being submitted to you on 11th of October 2021. Students, all of you may now please open page number 103 of your maths book and attentively listen to me. Here I am going to explain you what is tessellation or tiling. Dear students, a tiling or tessellation of a flat surface is the covering of a plane using one or more geometrical shapes which are called tiles with no overlaps and no gaps. A tessellation can go on forever. We can continue it till we want to. Children, you might have observed tiling patterns on floors and walls. Tiling patterns can also be seen in towels, curtains, and other fabrics. A tile floor, a brick or block wall, a checker or chessboard are all examples of tessellation. Please observe the tiling pattern in figure 1, 2 and 3 on page number 103. See the pattern very carefully. Can you see any overlapping in this pattern? No, there is no overlapping and there are no gaps. Can you see any gaps here? No, there are no gaps. Let us now discuss the rules for tessellation. The first rule, the tessellation must tile a floor with no overlapping or gaps. Number 2, the tiles must be regular polygons and all the same. Now, what is a polygon? Children, polygon is a closed figure having 3 or more than 3 sides. The plane figures which we have already discussed like triangle, square, pentagon, hexagon are all polygons. And here each vertex stands for corner, must look the same. Now dear children, please observe the tessellations given in the figures very carefully. These patterns are made using only one shape. As you can see in figure 1, this figure 1 is made up of using squares of same size. The same sized squares are there. So that means here the unit shape is a square. Moving on to figure 2. Figure 2 is made up of using triangles of same size. So figure 2 is made up of the triangles of the same size. So here the unit figure is a triangle. Now carefully observe the figure 3. This figure 3 as it is seen is made up of using hexagons of same size. Hexagon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So unit shape represents one unit of the given tiling patterns. As in figure 1, it is a square. In figure 2, it is a triangle. And in figure 3, it is a hexagon. Now children, please observe the tiling patterns given in figures 4 and figure 5. Now students, these two tessellations are made by using different shapes. As in figure 4, it is a combination of squares and octagons. Squares and octagons. And in figure 5, it is a combination of again different shapes which are pentagons of different shapes. So These are making beautiful tiling patterns. Children, now let us take a break of 3 minutes here. Please make one tessellation each using unit shape as square and triangle in your notebook. And you may pause the lesson here for 3 minutes. My dear children, the break time is over for you now, and I hope you have drawn the tessellations correctly. Now, let us discuss, can all shapes tessellate? Now children, please see figures A, B and C given on page number 104. As you can see clearly, the unit figure in figure A, there is no overlapping and no gaps. So this tiling pattern is a tessellation. Now moving on to figure B. In figure B, the unit shape is a circle. The unit shape is a circle. And it is evident from the figure that there is no overlapping, but there are gaps. As we can see here, there is no overlapping, but there are gaps. Fine. So this tiling pattern is not a tessellation, as it is impossible to put a series of circles next to each other without a gap. So dear students, circles cannot tessellate. Moving on to figure C. Figure C is showing a heptagon with 7 sides. Heptagon means 7 sides. So the tiling pattern shown here is showing no gaps, but there is overlapping. Hence, this tiling pattern is not a tessellation. Children, I hope the topic of tessellation is clear to you. Now, let us take another topic, which is map reading. You all might have studied about maps in your social studies. So, just to recall, a map tells the location of an object or a place in relation to other objects. On a map, we use directions and symbols for important landmarks. Landmarks are buildings, places, etc. that help us to locate a place. Landmarks tell us that we are moving in a right direction. So children, let us do one example of making a map. Children, all of you may now please see the map drawn on page number 107 of your textbook. Students, please observe the landmarks such as market, post office, temple and school. Now, as per question number 1, which is Ritu made a map of places near her home. And for A part, as in A part, what we need to show here, how will you go from Ritu's home to the park if you have to go to market first? Okay, so what will be the step? Step 1. So, step 1. Step out of the house and turn to your left. Keep walking straight till you see the market. Now, turn right and keep walking straight till you reach the post office. Turn to your right now and walk straight. You will reach the park on your left. Now children, take another short break of 3 minutes and make a map to reach the bank from Ritu's home. Mention the landmarks which will come in the way. You may pause the lesson here for 3 minutes. Now students, the break time is over for you and I hope you all must have done this question. As you can see from the map, there are 2 ways to reach to the bank. So let us discuss the first way, which is the smallest. So, what is the first way? Number 1, step out of the house and turn to your right. Then keep walking straight till you see the temple. Now turn left and keep walking straight till you reach the bank. So here I am ending this interactive session. Now it is the time for the home assignment, and your home assignment questions are as follows. Do exercise 6.5, question number 1, 2 and 3 in the book only, and then do question number 2 from exercise 6.6 in the book. Thank you, students.